All right, and we're on. Okay, so hello once again, and for the last time to my media sales class. My name is James Hunter Baldwin. If I can fix my hat there, and this will be the final paper presentation, the last presentation in the 8-week graduate level course. It's crazy to think that this class is already over. Feels like it just started, and then at the same time, it feels like we have had a whole semesters full of work in an 8-week span, which I guess is the purpose of an 8-week course. So for the final paper, it was a 20-page body content APA style formatted paper. For the topic that I chose self-confidence, the art of personal selling. And at first, when I decided to do that topic, I, was expecting a full out, you know, uh, graduate research paper to be a final project. But as time continued on in the class, I decided to take a little bit different approach, actually a really out there approach to this. And not only is this still a research paper, but this is kind of the magnum opus of media sales, and everything that we learned in this course related to the art of personal selling, and also my own personal experiences thrown in there as well. I kind of tried to wrap everything that has happened in this class into one um, just final project, if you will, because this whole class has been really interesting and entertaining to me. I do love the world of sales, and I think it's intriguing and it's always fun. It's a difficult field, but it's something that, if you can gain the experience and learn to enjoy it, it is something that will be very, very rewarding to a person. And this class has even furthered my knowledge and taught me things that I didn't even know, after already being in the field of sales, and possibly having a career in sales after this, or maybe staying in the world of college athletics where I'm at right now. I'll never know, but it will be interesting to see where I go, and I'll always take the experiences I gained from this course, because I learned so much from this course, and this course really, really tested me and broke me down a little bit sometimes, but it was a fun course, and that's really why I chose to kind of take a little bit different bit of approach. Instead of researching the internet for personal selling and self confidence, which I did a little bit, of course, but I really just wanted to dive into the book and reread the book and reread our class notes to really give my own personal take on personal selling. So in the paper, I talk about how we started this class with communication and what is communication, and the line that I think has stuck out to me the most in this class, which is in the paper, is we cannot not communicate. So we are always communicating, no matter what we're doing, no matter whether we're talking, whether we're sitting down. We're always communicating. I'm communicating right now that I have not done my hair today by wearing a hat. I am communicating that I'm kind of having a laid back look in the video with just a t-shirt on. I'm also, not in a formal room or anything. I'm just in my den. This is kind of a laid back kind of approach to this, but it's still a serious approach because I'm looking forward at the camera. I'm using my body language in a positive light. I'm saying everything with confidence, and it's being projected to you, and you can understand my words very clearly. And I'm making sure that everybody understands, I'm using words that everyone can understand with all the forms of communication that I'm sending out right now, because communication, as we've learned, happens in the mind of the receiver. So the messages that I'm sending to you watching this video, you're doing your own cultural overlay of that video to understand my sales presentation. or my presentation of this final paper. So, excuse me. So we continued on with the paper. I talked more about all of our forms of communication, our types of selling, the developmental and the service selling, and how personal selling really is almost all developmental, because the key of developmental selling is that it has to come before service selling, and it's all building relationships and making those business relationships turn into friendships, and it makes the art of selling and giving sales presentations so much more fun and so much more easier, because you're getting to know the clients and you're getting to get on a personal level with them. So a sales presentation doesn't become a business outing, it just becomes going to see a friend to talk about, buying a product, or talk about trying a service or anything like that. And that's really the key of developmental selling. And the service selling still goes a little bit with the personal selling, in a sense to where it is like the easier part of the selling. And in the paper I really touched on how the more you use developmental selling, the easier and easier service selling gets, because people already trust you if you have a good relationship with them with your developmental selling steps that you take. So when it comes to service selling your products, if they sell really well, or if they have enough trust in you, they're always going to come to you if they need anything in the world of sales. So I continued on, and I really broke down personal selling into two different methods. I used the method that we talked about in class: the skills, knowledge, opportunity, attitude, preparation, and persistence. So when we talk about that method, is really kind of a step-by-step way of how to do personal selling. And so it's skills. It's just your natural talents, the what you're born with, as far as can you talk to people, can you not talk to people, are you comfortable in your own skin, do you mind staying in front of a lot of people and maybe messing up, or are you nervous about that? How one uses their skills, and then how one builds on their skills through experience. Next was knowledge. You have to have knowledge of the product. If you're a personal salesman, you are face to face with people, and if you do not know what you're talking about, they will not have confidence and they will not have faith in what you're selling. So it's going to be really difficult for you to be a good salesman if you don't have knowledge of your product. Opportunity. Okay. Opportunity is next. Opportunity is selling that idea, selling the intangibles of your product or service. You're trying to sell them on the opportunity to, join your company or use your product because it's going to be beneficial to them. It is something that is not necessarily touchable. You can't touch it. It's something that is out there as an idea that they, as a customer, need to understand and see, and it needs to be something that they desire, to really get them jumping on the ball and jumping on the opportunity to buy from you, or sign up for the service that your company provides. Attitude is just your self-confidence to ramped up to 11. You got to have a positive attitude about it. Always go into a meeting walking into the room knowing like you own the place, because you have to. Because if you walk in with your shoulder slouched down and you don't really talk to people and look at them in the eye and just kind of be all sad about it and just go through the presentation and be all sad, it's not fun. You got to go out there and you got to try to put your personality for these people all to see. And the best analogy I used in the paper was, personal selling and selling your personality is kind of like taking a spaghetti noodle and throwing it up against the wall and hoping it sticks, because you're going to sell yourself as much as possible, and you got to hope that the more and more you show of your personality, the more likely that your presentation is going to stick in the minds of the customer, and they'll be more likely to buy from y'all. And that's the attitude part of it. Then the final two, the two P's of precision, preparation and persistence. For preparation, it goes along with knowledge, but also to the point of where it's really just rehearsing what you're doing, kind of making it kind of like a show, if you will, to succeed in your presentation, so that no matter what you're doing or what kind of curveballs you're thrown at, you'll always be prepared, because you always be prepared because you know what's coming next in the presentation. You're not ever caught off guard to anything that comes your way, because you're always prepared, to the second almost, if you want to, excuse me, always prepared to, like, the second, to make sure that your presentation goes over smoothly. And then persistence is that you know never accept failure attitude. One of the assignments that I enjoyed also in this class was the sales biography, giving all of us students a chance to look at famous salespeople, and see where they came from and how they got to where they are today. And it was almost consistent that with the two people I picked and then the people that all of my classmates picked that I responded to in the forums, they all did not accept failure. And the persistence is that to a key. You can't accept failure as a salesman, and you will get rejected. Not every salesman makes a sale every single time, or saleswoman for that matter. It doesn't matter. You're going to be rejected. It's how you respond to the rejection of whether we're going to pack our bags up and go home, or we're going to go back to the drawing board and try to find a new way to get things done in the art of personal selling. And then the other method I did was a method that I kind of came up with on my own a little bit, just a little bit simpler, is take away the aspect of the presentation itself and use the skills that you have as far as your personality and your communication skills to do the presentation. And then the method that I kind of came up with myself is more after the fact of the presentation, and it's just 4 easy steps of just ask questions, address concerns, ask for the sale, and follow up. So after you do your presentation, it's always important to ask questions. And I pulled this method together kind of from my experience of being in the world of retail sales. The biggest thing that helped me when I was doing retail was asking customer questions after I gave them my little spiel about Nike shoes, because I worked at Nike. After I told them about the products that we had in the store, the best thing I did to continue the presentation or just the interaction between customers was asking them questions. And that is where I could start picking their brains a little bit and try to uncover the desires that they were looking for in the store today, instead of just ignoring them and just walking around in circles and just waiting for my time to punch out. So asking questions is huge. Addressing concerns. Always, always, always be able to answer any question that can be thrown at you by a customer when giving a sales presentation, because you have to be on your toes at all times. Because if they ask you a question and you stop and you go or I don't know, that starts to create doubt, and that in their mind knows that, okay, maybe this product or this service isn't going to work out, because if they don't know if it works, then we definitely aren't going to know that it's not going to work. Like, it's not going to work for us. If it's not working for them, they can't answer the question, and it's not going to work for us. You got to be confident, and you got to answer every question and every concern that they throw back at you. And then the next step was asking for the sale. This is the trickiest part of a personal sale, like being a personal salesman, is you got to know when to ask that question. Sometimes you can do it directly, like, hi, let's kind of stuttered over my words there, but doing it directly is, saying like, hey, we're ready to get this sale done, something directly. Or it could be indirectly, something like the sale's already done, but you're just asking them how many. So how many units do y'all want today? Or, hey, what time do y'all want me to send this car over, or something like that? Send a car, I don't know. But the point is that this is the hardest part, and the most tricky part is asking for that sale. And you got to know when to do it. And that also keys into the developmental selling part of that. You got to know what type of relationship you have with your customer and your client to know if it's okay to sell something to them right now. Most of the time, the first time you talk to somebody, unless you have to offer them a sale, it's best not to do that, because you want to build as much trust as possible so that when you do offer that sale, they have all the confidence in the world in you and your company, and they'll go ahead and they will accept. And then the last step was follow up. And the follow up is also big in developmental selling. You always want to make sure that you always stay in touch with your customers so that, number one, they can be repeat customers, and then number two, you make sure that your product or service is working, not only for that one customer, but just in general. So if there's any problems that arise, you can fix that before the next time you have to give another sales presentation. That way you know that it is going to work and you have fixed all the bugs that it could possibly have. So I guess I can say in conclusion, personal selling and self-confidence, they all go hand in hand. And you can't have really one without the other. You really can't be a good personal salesman without self-confidence, and that's a fact. Because if you go in there like I was doing earlier in the video with your head down, in a mopey or an upset mood, you're going to be unsuccessful. You have to have self-confidence. And a lot of people that don't have self-confidence, you have to take small victories. You can't take big victories. You got to learn how to build that up. And 3 keys that I always go by as to building up self-confidence is always stay positive. Always look at the glass half full and not half empty. Always be able to find a smile somewhere out of any situation that happens. And it's hard to do that sometimes, but you always have to stay positive. Number 2 is to celebrate the victory. Whether or not you're a salesman that's got their 1 millionth sale, or a salesman that just got their first, or even something different is like, I'm trying to get a B, and I gotta be, I'm trying to get a B in a class, so boom, you got to be in a class, and everybody, you need to make A's, but hey, a B's fine. I'm learning, I'm getting better. You have to celebrate the victories, no matter how big or small they are, because celebrating victories is important to building self-confidence, because the more and more you build, like the more and more you celebrate the victories, the more and more good memories you'll have. So when a tough situation comes up, you can remember the good times of how you succeeded there, and then translate that to succeeding in this tough time currently. Being a former college athlete, being a baseball player, one of the best advices that I had as a hitter is that when I was struggling, think of one at bat that always stuck out in your mind and how you hit the ball so well. And just go into the box thinking that at bat, not even the current at bat you're in right now. Think that old at bat and try to find the way that happened in the past and replicate it in the present. And that's why celebrating victory is important. And lastly, just have fun. Sales is fun. It's a fun profession. You can, monitor your own hours with the way you work and your work ethic. You can build friendships through your business. And, you always get to present your personality and let yourself stand out and be yourself out there in the world, and that's awesome. And sales does that. And this class was a great chance for me to spread my personality out to the world. Now I have a YouTube channel. I probably won't ever use it again, but I do. I'm out there, and it's fun to do that, and it's fun to get back into sales and doing these little sales presentations, because I did have fun while I was doing retail sales, and it was really fun. The hours were hard, but it was a fun line of work, and sales is so fun, and personal sales can be so fun, because you're getting face to face with people, you're having conversations, you're having a good time, and you're trying to make money, and all of that goes hand in hand, and people do love that. So I'm going to wrap this up. Once again, my name is James Hunter Boland. The YouTube channel that I'm posting this on is 110 Maldedith. I think I might try to grow this a little bit. I might not, who knows, but I really enjoyed everybody that I got to watch do sales presentations in this class. I really enjoyed this class from Dr. Fortenberry. Just to you personally, you are a great teacher. Probably the toughest I ever had. Pushed me to the point that I thought I could never go. And no matter what my grade is in this class, whether it be an A+ or an F-, I'm grateful for the information that I have, and that I will take it no matter where I go, because I know that I've learned in this class, and I'll be better for it, and I'll be better prepared in the near future of me having to go and get an adult job in the adult world, as the young kids say. So thank you again, everybody, in the media sales class. Leave a like for the video below. Leave a comment if you like. Subscribe to the channel if you like. Maybe if y'all subscribe, I might start making cool videos. But once again, thank you, Media Sales class. Thank you, Dr. Fortenberry. And this is James Hunter Boland, and I'm signing off for this graduate level course.